Here's Brody Brazil.
So within the last 24 hours, we definitely have witnessed this emerge as the biggest headline in all of baseball. And whether you call it Torpedo Barrels or Torpedo Bats or Torpedo something, it looks different. It's brand new. We don't even really have the official name for this yet. But what we have found out is that these bats are legal according to Major League Baseball. And certainly witnessing the results of the Yankees in this weekend series against the Brewers, they seem pretty darn effective. Take a look at the bat here for Austin Wells, and specifically the barrel. Yeah, it's the thickest right here, and it actually gets thinner at the very end. Usually bats were tapered so that the barrel and the very end of the bat were the same diameter, but that's not the case anymore. I'll try and draw kind of a little bit of an idea of the outline there. It gets thinner to the tip of the bat, and that is the idea of this torpedo barrel, which served the Yankees well in this first series of the season. They outscored and swept the Brewers 36-14 in 3 total games across the series. The Bronx Bombers, yeah, they lived up to their name on Saturday. 9 homers at Yankee Stadium. They hit 15 total dingers across the weekend, 36 runs in their first series of this season. That is the third most in all of MLB history. No, not just Yankee history. All the teams, all the seasons, all the decades, 36 runs in a first series. Again, third most in Major League Baseball history. Aaron Judge had 4 homers total in the series, including 3 on Saturday, 1 more today. And Jazz Chisholm Jr., he hit 1 on Saturday. He hit 2 more here on Sunday. So obviously, everybody's noting it's only a small handful of players on the Yankees that are actually using these bats, but the Yankees scoring all these runs and some of the players using these bats, it's certainly gathering a lot of attention. And we're familiar, again, with what Major League Baseball approved bats have always looked like. And as I tried to draw it before, it's that same barrel here, that old school barrel that has the same diameter from kind of the fat part to the very end of the bat. It just doesn't change, as opposed to a bat that's fat here and then kind of tapers back in at the very end, if that makes it clear. I mean, when you see the visuals, you will clearly understand these bats look a little bit different. I mean, look at over the shoulder here of Jazz Chisholm Jr. Like that bat, it's really fat right there, and then it kind of comes to that end. This is the best way I can kind of draw it right here. So you understand that the science behind this is different. The physics behind this is different. We haven't had a lot of bat technology changes. I mean, the wood has changed, and maybe the grips have changed, and the knobs have changed. The axe hammer is one that everybody likes to use and has in recent years. But in terms of the tip of that bat looking just a whole lot different than we've ever been accustomed to, and this is legal. That was the biggest question yesterday. Is this legal? We have since found confirmation that the one that Chisholm was using and the one that Anthony Volpe was using, this, in fact, is legal. According to Chris Kirschner of The Athletic, he's the beat writer for the New York Yankees. He quickly put this out yesterday just to put it to bed. MLB says the new bats the Yankees are using are legal. And that's been confirmed by baseball on a wide scale here. It was also interesting to see Kevin Smith, a New York native and the one-time Oakland Athletic infielder, the one-time New York Yankee. He just retired from baseball like 5 days ago. And Kevin Smith, of all people, put out I'll say Twitter thread, an X thread on Saturday that really spelled out exactly what we were witnessing here, what they recalled, what's the terminology, what's the backstory behind this. Of all the media and all the reporters and all the storytellers of baseball, Kevin Smith is the one here in this thread who spelled it out the best for everybody. Yes, he said, the Yankees have a literal genius, MIT physicist, Lenny, who is the man, like the man, on payroll. It's actually Aaron Lenhart, hired in 2024 by the Yankees. He's actually now employed by the Miami Marlins. Lenny invented the torpedo barrel. It brings more wood and mass to where you most often make contact as a hitter. And I mean, look, this is the best visual anybody could provide. Side by side, an old Smitty bat that goes like that, and look at the Yankees one that just kind of has that fatter spot right there. Thinner here, obviously the fattest right there, where you're probably most likely to strike the baseball. Again, the idea is to increase the number of barrels and decrease misses. Kevin Smith went on to say, the MLB, I'll just say MLB, has rules on bats, like what the weight drop can be and what the density of the wood can be and how big the barrel can be. Most guys are using bats that aren't even close to maxing out the barrel size. When Lenny measured my barrel compared to what's allowed, I was shocked. You're going up with a weapon that can be better, Lenny would say. Your just misses could be clips, and your clips could be flares, and your flares could be barrels. And it was true. It's fractions of an inch on the barrel differentiating these outcomes. And if you think about it, talk about baseball being a game of inches. I mean, it's a game of millimeters. When you talk about striking the ball on the bat, where the ball is actually hit on the bat, how far the ball will go, how hard it's hit, all of that is absolutely true. And it kind of makes you wonder, why didn't we think about this from before? They also feel a little lighter. That was a big question I had. So if you swing one of these torpedo bats or torpedo barrels, how does it actually feel like through the zone? Does it swing harder? Does it help you kind of get through the hitting area? Who knows? They feel a little lighter. There's more weight closer to your hands, so you can swing a heavier bat. There you go. That also would help making the baseball go farther. It kind of feels like those old wiffle ball bats you used as a kid. The barrel feels massive the first time you pick it up, but it's really not that big. It looks really big because the cup of the bat is smaller, the very end of it, right? Taking some of the wood away from the end where you don't really want to hit it anyways, putting more of it in the barrel where you want to hit it more, makes it look even bigger. It makes sense to everyone who plays. The hard part is getting over how weird it looks in your hands. Looking down at it in the box made me almost laugh every time, and most catchers noticed it. Players love the feel, and it throws off all your feels initially. Players love feel, and it throws off all your feels initially. Obviously, it's not going to make you an elite hitter if you aren't already. I tried. I love that humble approach, and that was my point too. Like, the players are still hitting these home runs. It's the bats that might be helping make the 20-foot difference to make them home runs. But for the best in the world, any slight advantage could be the difference. It's cool to see more people using them. Lenny was always amazed it wasn't already a thing. I mean, me too, right? Now, if you really think about it, and this was legal the entire time, why didn't everybody try it already? Well, maybe they now will. He would say 5 to 10 years from now, this is all anyone will be using. Either way, it was cool to work with a genius like Lenny, who wanted to help players in any way possible. I hope he's smiling watching the Yanks hit 9 homers knowing his bats are the talk of the town. From what I can remember in the measuring, there were a good amount of bats that had the same barrel diameter already in the game. It's not like the barrel is bigger than others, but moving the wood around and making the end cap smaller gives it that look. So again, everybody was questioning, well, the rules, and does this actually fit under the rules? And it turns out it does. It just makes it look different. The reason some players use a thinner barrel on purpose is wood density. The thought is if there is a smaller barrel but the same weight, then the wood is more dense in my barrel and would lead to higher exit velocities, like speed of the baseball off the bat. Talking with Lenny, what I took away from it is you're definitely sacrificing some EV, exit velocity, if you go to a bigger barrel with the same weight, but the advantage in contact/clip rates outweighs the exit velocity in a full season. Having higher EV to start is a plus. Adding weight to a bat can offset. And now we're getting deep into the weeds and the science of hitting. And a lot of us understand that there is this approach and it really is that deep, but man, I always appreciate it when I hear the experts talking about it in the professional way that they do. Going back to Rule 3.02 about the bat for Major League Baseball hitters, it says 3 different things. 3.02a says the bat shall be a smooth, round stick, not more than 2.61 inches in diameter at the thickest part of the bat, and not more than 42 inches in length. I'd love to see somebody swing a 42-inch bat, by the way. The bat shall be one solid piece of wood. Note, no laminated or experimental bats shall be used in a professional game until the manufacturer has secured approval from Major League Baseball of his design and methods of manufacture. And I think this is the part right here that everybody's wondering about, like, wait, were these manufacturers, were these approved by baseball? And baseball has confirmed. And it's kind of interesting that none of that was ever a story. Nobody ever really noticed this and talked about this until we saw a team and a bunch of individual players hitting a bunch of home runs. So apparently that process already took place. 3.02b talks about cupped bats, like the actual tip and the end of the bat. An indentation in the end of the bat up to 1¼ inches in depth is permitted and may be no wider than 2 inches and no less than 1 inch in diameter. The indentation must be curved on the inside of the bat with no foreign substance added. 302c says the bat handle, for not more than 18 inches from its end, may be covered or treated with any material or substance to improve the grip. Any such material or substance, like pine tar, that extends past the 18-inch limitation shall cause the bat to be removed from the game. Go ask George Brett about that. Note, if the umpire discovers that the bat does not conform to C above until a time during or after which the bat has been used in play, it shall not be grounds for declaring the batter out or ejected from the game. You can't go back and change things. In terms of the torpedo users on the Yankees, by the way, and I say it like it's a bad thing, these are the torpedo innovators, to be quite honest with you. Chisholm Jr., Bellinger, Goldschmidt, and Wells are the 4 players right now who are using these torpedo bats, torpedo barrels, whatever. You would imagine this list is going to double and triple on this team, or maybe not. Maybe players will say, I'm comfortable with what I'm doing, but I bet you they'll try it. In the cage, in live BP, players are now going to be ordering these bats from their manufacturers, I guarantee, like crazy. If they didn't already know, now they're seeing widespread proven results. Of course, they're going to try this out. So here are my takeaways. Number one, it's amazing how quietly this was just approved by Major League Baseball. And again, for all the media and all the lurkers and all the observers and everybody at spring training and batting practice and those around the equipment, I wasn't this year. I didn't go to spring training. Sometimes you go down there and you hear about something. You hear whispers of something new. Then you see it on the big stage for real. But nobody really caught wind of this, or at least it wasn't on the headlines of the baseball season and what to expect. Nobody was talking about this until the Yankees actually used it successfully. So I would imagine that right now this is catching everybody's attention, not just fans, but, oh yeah, if I'm a different team, if I'm a different player, I'm at least going to try this out. I'm going to do it justice and see how it feels and see how it works for me. And I also wonder, are there any drawbacks? Do these bats break more often? Do they, again, if you break a bat on a swing, I'm not suggesting that that's a big deal of the cost of the bat. I'm saying that you make weaker contact on that play, and you're probably out because it's a weak grounder if you broke your bat. But I'm wondering if there are any drawbacks to changing the form factor, changing the tapering of the barrel. I don't know. I guess these haven't been used enough. There's not a big enough sample size yet to truly understand that. But I think if I'm going to predict something, it's that we may have just witnessed here a tipping point. And when I say tipping point, it's like the thing that changes the future in the present. This is the tipping point of players using the same bats, same kinds of wood, same design, same tapers forever, right? A bat has always kind of looked like that. Not always, but in modern times, the bat has always looked the same. The cup was kind of a new addition, like scooping out the end. And again, the axe handle at the very bottom, that was a big change. But the barrel of a bat has largely gone unchanged for a very long time. We may have just witnessed one team in one weekend that changed the course of bat barrels for the next 5, 10, 15, 50 years of baseball. Who knows? And it was the Yankees to usher it in, and it was a big weekend series against the Brewers. There's Austin Wells, and I keep wanting to draw this. I do such a bad job of drawing it, but it's just amazing how it's thin here at the end, and it just kind of gets fatter. It does kind of look like a wiffle ball bat. And I guess, what you're really trying to emphasize is making sure you hit it right there. Heck, maybe even a little bit farther out here, because it doesn't kind of really get narrow until that last little bit right there. So it makes sense. And if Lenny from MIT says it's going to work, then you know what? He's a physicist, so I trust him. It's probably going to work. Let me know what you think about all this in the comments section below. I know a lot of Yankees fans are seeing this and feel defensive. You don't have to. In my opinion, the Yankees and their players just might have changed the course of baseball. And I keep asking myself, why didn't anybody else try this before? How come nobody has actually gone this route before? Maybe they were scared it was illegal, but it seems like everything has been approved, so it's fine. You're good, as far as I can see. Thumbs up down below. That'll greatly help me, this video, and this channel. And also, don't forget to hit that subscribe button below so I can definitely see you back here next time.